Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, hi, I'm Abby. I talk a lot about journaling here on this channel and documenting life and travels. Today, I thought to share with you how it's been using my journals for a month. So as you know, January has passed and I like sharing how I've used it throughout an extended period of time, because usually at the start of the year, it's like, hey, these are all the journals I'm using. But also like, yeah, but how did you use it? I'm going to be sharing ideas and inspiration, as well as walk you through how I decided to kind of document my days, for example. I also will introduce you to two more journals that I've been using side by side with my daily journal for the start of the year. So right now I have this one, which you're pretty familiar with, my Dji Pocket, aka my everyday journaling notebook. Apart from that, I also will tour you inside my tiny notebook. This is my, I don't know what's a good term for it, so if you have suggestions, let me know in the comments. My Hyperfixation log. It's a place for me to write about things I'm currently obsessed with, as well as a monthly view via this analog keeper notebook. So I will share with you how I decide to update these different journals, the frequency also, and also like how often I'm able to keep up with the habit. I think as of this recording, I'm pretty much on track with regards to the updates per journal, so I think that's good, but I also want to definitely touch more on that topic in future videos, so make sure to keep watching to see more of my journal pages. Let's start off first with my daily journal. I mean, it's no surprise that I've been diligently updating this, and it's nice to be able to kind of fill it up as I go, especially in the first month, because it's always like the testing the waters phase. Although I can't really say the same because this is actually my third year using it, so I'm pretty much used to it. I always try to not really fill up, but like have a bunch of extra things here. So right now I have this blotting paper. It's a Moomin edition from Hobonichi that was kindly gifted to me by my friend Jackie. Thanks, Jackie. And then I also have this washi sampler set. It's all peanuts. I'm not the biggest Peanuts fan, but this was gifted to me by a really huge Peanuts fan, Coco. So she gave me some samples from, I think this was a Peanuts collection. And then at the back, I have a photo of Joe Keery here. And then I also have these monthly stamp sticker sheet that I actually designed for Paper Diet for their advent calendar. I wanted to use them for my own documenting, probably at the start of the month. And I like that it's postage stamp shaped and it's a sticker, and actually every month symbolizes certain things in the month. Like February is obviously like Valentine's, July is World Watercolor Month. It's like really subtle. September is obviously Hobonichi season, journal season. I also have, lol, it's a photo of my brother, graduation photo. I didn't know where else to put it, so let's just put it there. I also was gonna add a letter of my best friend that I will actually eventually add. I think this stained here. Okay, that sucks. Anyway, I do like that Hobonichi's covers really have a lot of pockets and storage, and I think that goes with, you know, being efficient with, like, you can put a pen here, you can put cards, you can put stationery. I have like a miscellaneous array of things here that maybe I will use, maybe I won't. But so far I've been enjoying my daily documenting practice. I don't know if I can say that I do it daily. I think I haven't been so consistent, but I managed to still keep up with my backlogs, so I guess that is a feat in itself. So we start off in January with, actually the first few days in January, I was in Barcelona with family for a holiday trip. So what happens is, since these are like catch-ups and I didn't bring this during my holiday trip, I backfilled this when I got back on Saturday. And I started printing photos. I don't print all the time, but for context, this is the Canon QX20. It's a selfie edition and I really like it. It's not the most portable, but it prints, yeah, basically it prints this size. And I like to do like half prints, like 2 photos in one collage, or 4, depending on the layout. I think this is 2. So 1 photo here of me in Park Güell, and another one of winter when I got back on that Saturday. Usually at the start of the year, I'm using like winter colors, blues, and I think it's always just like warming up to whatever I feel at the moment. So, you know, this first week back was really like tiring, very cold. It was always, I think the whole weekend was below 0. And so I stayed home and I started to, you know, list out things that I did instead of writing paragraphs. Sometimes I vary it because then it gives me a clearer picture of how I block the day, time block the day. It also feels like every time I update here, I try to zoom out of the main focus of the day and kind of see things as the day progresses. I don't know if that makes sense. I noticed recently that when I write, I have like thoughts or commentaries at the start of writing like the page, because a lot of people ask me like what I actually write, and it's either a summary of what the day looked like or like a general observation. So for example, this one, it says it was a very busy work from home day, so you kind of get that the day was very busy. And then here on Wednesday I wrote the days just keep getting colder and colder. So then you can tell that the weather was really not having it at that time. I also just love decorating with tiny stickers. Actually funny because these green slippers, I ended up getting a pair from Muji recently, so I feel like it was a bit of manifestation. I also try to keep it minimal. Like you'll see a lot of washi tapes that are just kind of like in one section of the page, and for me it's like, oh, it eats up space and it's a cohesive enough visual to kind of know what's happening. So this is literally winter. This was a Berlin themed day because I haven't had a workshop at Modular. I was pretty nervous for this because number one, it's my first workshop of the year. The second one being, it was a super snowed in day, so I wasn't sure if everyone could make it. Luckily, only 2 people weren't able to make it, and we sent them their materials, but it turned out really nice. So I also just really enjoy like there's always like a little washi. I also love that these PET tapes kind of make their way into my spreads. I don't have a great storage solution for PET tapes. It's literally this photo album from Muji. And then every pocket has a different design because I just have a bunch of samples, and then I can just flip through them and pick out what I feel would best represent the day, for example. Like this one is so meta because I wrote, had the weirdest dream last night and woke up close to 10 a.m. Yikes. So I thought like, oh, it would be nice to like put like a sticker, a PET tape rather, with like stars and houses because I was at home. I stayed home the whole day. I also, if not have been writing about my obsessions, I would also write about things that I've been doing. You know, like I started baking. I think this was when I baked, yeah, I prepped a batch of gochujang cookies. I have been really in experimental mode this winter, mostly because there's nothing else you can do apart from look at how depressing the weather is, you know? Lots of indoor activities for sure. This is my birthday spread. Annual birthday spread is me with a Polaroid photo taken on the day of my birthday. Obviously this is from a fancy camera, and then I printed it on my Instax printer. I decided to do an open flap this time because one, if you stick this on, there's like barely enough space to write anything, so I decided to just do it like this for a change. I try to still incorporate ephemera when I can, but as you know, generally ephemera is kind of huge like this. So I was supposed to put like a sticker here, but I think it fell off, and it's not the strongest. I definitely have to put more glue on it. But if I do have ephemera like this, I just write over it and I try to make sure the layout fits somehow. I think I watched Heated Rivalry like this Sunday. So I was setting up my plotter. See, set up my plotter. I booked my Chicago trip. I did not expect watching Heated Rivalry and getting so obsessed and invested, which I think worked in my favor because I pretty much did my chores, which I did. So yeah, I printed a photo of them there. And then I also have been really enjoying cooking. I think the main thing that I try to incorporate with my daily pages is not really big picture stuff, but also just like zooming in and zooming out on the day. I don't know if that makes sense, but I think generally once the day ends, I kind of tell myself, okay, how did I feel that day, and like what do I want to remember it by? Like, no matter how small of a detail it was. Like, for example, OMG, finally slept before 1 a.m. You gotta celebrate those things, you know? I inked one of my pens. I think it's this one. That's the Sailor Manio Nuts with Kobe Strawberry Chocolate. I really love this page because it's like brown and then pink. It's very chocolatey of a spread, if that makes sense. Also because this day I had a pastry and cafe date with my friend Aya, so it kind of made sense to be in that realm. Going back to more pops of color, I definitely am biased because I designed this washi tape for Everyday Explorers Co. for her November kit, and I love the juxtaposition of color. And then I found like this PET tape that kind of like mixed a lot of what the colorway is. And I don't take my sticker sticking literally, but it's just nice to see them kind of lay out in a way that's like really pleasing. And I've mentioned this several times before. I try to think of my journals as like a little magazine, you know, of my daily life. Of course, I needed to document the last day I watched Stranger Things, so this was the last episode. It was an interesting day because this was the week I took a week off, and I filmed some of them at my vlog, and also I watched the finale and then I watched Hamnet in the evening. I don't know if that was a good idea, but I wanted to print a photo of Joe Keery as Steve Harrington because this shot was really nice. And this is where he works at a radio station opposite Robin, who is played by Maya Hawke. So last day in January, I'll also show you bits of February as I already have been working on them frequently. I think this was more fun in terms of designing the cover. I need to go back to this because it's not really giving. There's nothing. This was from Harry Styles' Treat People with Kindness. I know he has a new album coming out soon, but I personally didn't really vibe with the new single. I think I am a Harry's house girly, and I really love this song, Treat People with Kindness. I felt like it was something that I could use up for the cover page. And then for February, I have been pretty much going through the motions of like the same whatever's inked on my fountain pens at the moment. So here, and the thing is, right now I have a separate desk in my bedroom and separate desk in my office, so I think that also factors in with like what inks I use and what stationery. Someone had asked me about this, and I just kind of feel it out if I want to use a certain type of pen or whatever's within reach. So I think it's a mix of both of that. I got a box of new tea. It's mint flavored and it has this really nice green color. So obviously I saved the tea bag, the tea sleeve rather. What do you call that? Tea tag, sorry. I also have been playing around with tapes I own. So this is empty special edition one in collaboration with Berlin. I don't know who worked with Berlin or like who worked on this design, but I really like it. So on some days that I feel more like it was a Berlin themed day, then I just use it. So on Thursday, I wanted to do like a contrasting color. So this one is actually Twisby Eco pen with Sailor Manio Nagi. Really like it. It's like a very muted blue. And then this one is a Sailor Ink Studio that a friend, Samira, gave me. I forgot exactly the name of the ink, but it's something that I really like. It's like a terracotta-y color, and I think it really matched well. This Berlin sticker is actually from a Korean brand. I just saw it at Dusman while I was shopping. I was like, this is actually nice. So I incorporated that. And then these ones are a bit more muted, but I like how they turned out. So it was a really snowy Saturday, so we decided to, you know, take pictures in the snow. And then it has this like dark academia theme. Dark slash light because of these like the tapes. And also, I think these are Misho egg. And then I added some doves and stuff. So I thought that would be nice. Then my recent spread is a bit more fun and ephemera heavy. So Hokey Pokey is a really good ice cream place here in Berlin, and they always have stickers, so I decided to cop one for this journal. I think in every year I have a Hokey Pokey one, and then I also decided to tear up some pieces from the Museum Barberini flyer and add it here as like, you know, an accent, because obviously I couldn't put the whole map here. In general, I've just been learning how to just, you know, keep it as simple as possible. You'll see that in recent spreads there hasn't been that much designs, because then I don't want to keep buying stickers. I think it's good to use up what I have. Sometimes also it's not related to the day or what happened. I'll just kind of pick out a sample from my stash and be like, oh, maybe I could use this, and then I'll just pair the ink with either of these colors and just start to write. So yeah, that's so far how I've been documenting in my Hobonichi. Surprisingly, I've been enjoying using this. Not frequently, and I think it's just a nice exercise to like recap the week. So I update this, I would say like once a week. It comes in this like slim size. It actually fits a traveler's notebook cover, but I have it just separate. I need to decorate it more. But right now, I just have a photo of me undercover because I own it. But I haven't really figured out like what to do with this. I feel like this would be nice to write highlights, you know, or like recent things, or like highlights of the month or something. I should actually get back to that and think about it. Let's go to January. This is how I filled it up. And how I do this every week is really depending on what I've done and what I've been kind of busy with. For example, this was the first week back. I was at home. I rewatched The Holdovers. I started watching Heated Rivalry. I was also working on my Substack essay. And then my good friend Sarah P visited and stayed over. So I feel like that was like the ultimate like summary of the week. I don't really take it too seriously. Like whatever stickers I find would be kind of relevant is actually there. Some small things I also highlight is like I ordered my TV, you know, it's like super simple things, but if I look back on this month, it's like, oh yeah, I ordered my TV the day after my birthday. I also got a new foldable desk lamp, so then I had a sticker of a desk lamp, you know. Something also that I love doing is sometimes I'll put in like what I'm currently watching. So I watch these movies on January 18th. And then here, I remember going to the gym and listening to Bruno Mars and Fall Out Boy. Some parts are a bit like nuanced. Like I don't really literally, you know, write for every day unless I remember what happened, you know. I also just kind of print photos sparingly. I don't overprint because I know that it won't fit. Like I can't add one for every single day. I really like this. I printed it in black and white. This is me and my cousin Achi Michelle. She was visiting and we had dinner. I also pre-stuck a couple of these stickers, like these ones, and this one is from Dana 8 Oatmeal. Super love her stickers. And then I also got this, I don't know, it's like washi tape sample from Modular during the workshop. Oh, this was a funny Easter egg. So my friend Shar came over and then I asked her to write and she wrote compatible. People who watch Heated Rivalry know what that means. I did keep a lot of tea bags, so I have this pure tea here. This was really good. I got it for free at one of the hotels in, I want to say Portugal. And chamomile tea. This is a Harrods tea that my friend Natasha gave me. It's actually decaf English breakfast. It's really good. Like for evening tea, usually I go for herbal, but I'm so happy that there's a decaf black tea only in the UK. I also added in a sticker of, I think this was part of my luggage tag. So I added that there. And then I also have, for February, I've been filling it up, but I haven't written anything yet. As you can see, the first half is pretty much filled to the brim. I do want to say too that the captions are one fountain pen ink. I also don't know if I'll use fountain pens because I don't know how fountain pen friendly this paper is. I think it's not. So I might resolve to just use one of my Sarasa pens. You know, you can't go wrong with the Sarasa gel pen. So this is February so far. I have never taken a photo of me freezing in my Berlin winter outfit, so I was like, okay, this is me on the way to pick up my brother. And then I also have like stickers from coffee shops we went to. I got a donut, so I asked for extra stickers. This is the same T-tag that you've seen in my Hobonichi, and this is from the same Berlin sticker set that you've also seen. So right now, I'm gonna fill it up eventually, but right now it looks like this. Before we continue, no, this is not sponsored, but I'd like to let you know that I do have classes on Skillshare about journaling and journaling with fountain pens. So if you'd love to know more about everyday journaling and different ways that you can document your life regularly, I do have a class dedicated to that. I have 5 prompts that you'll be able to try and I'll be able to show you throughout the class. I think the class doesn't take more than 45 minutes if you want to have a look, and also it's a class that you can take in 5 different days, so you'll be able to journal with me in the different prompts that are provided there. Hopefully you'll be able to pick up some that would resonate with you and also give you some motivation to kickstart or continue your journaling habit. For folks who are interested in learning about fountain pens but feel intimidated, I made a class that I wish I had taken before I got into fountain pens. So I have a class on journaling with fountain pens, and it's more of a peek into the different types of pens that you can use, from beginner to more advanced, properties of ink, a bit more technical, but just enough to let you know the basics of how to buy pens, how to choose pens that you like, as well as how to take care of your pens. I've had pens with me for more than 5 years now. Happy to report they are still doing great. Wait, I think, yeah, I do have like 6-year-old pens with me. So if you'd like to try out those classes, I have a free trial link down below where you can access those classes and a lot more other creative classes on Skillshare. Last but definitely not the least, I guess save the best for last, this is my tiny notebook. This is my hand for scale, so it's really, really tiny. I picked this up in Japan when I went last November, and I had been wanting to pick this up just because it's such a cute size. I thought about so many ways to go about it. I could have used it for ink swatches, for notes and stuff, but I realized I can't use notes for a tiny notebook because I take way too much notes. And then it hit me. So I love documenting my media. I've kept media journals in the past. This is actually my most recent one that I never got to finish. This is a passport size insert for context and for size reference. I started this in 2023. I actually need to update it more because I really got into watching movies. This quote is from the song Under Pressure. It's actually about, like, it's a song lyric, and it's from the movie After Sun, one of my favorite films. And then I started to just document it like this, where it's like the film poster is there and then I write a short summary of how much I liked the film and like where I watched it. I even put stars. Yeah, this was a very film heavy period for me because I needed to find, I guess, like a coping mechanism to deal with my very intense depression at the time. I enjoyed this, and I think I diligently updated this until like from February to March. So Beef was here, Triangle of Sadness, and I haven't been able to update it since. I think I should go back to it. But with regards to like films, TVs, I don't watch just one thing in general. I kind of like, you know, do a rotation, and I figured that every time I look back on the year, I don't know what I actually watched unless I check my letterbox. And I was like, maybe I should have a hyperfixation log. So that's the purpose of this exact notebook. It's still pretty empty, but the general layout is I print a photo of, I don't know, poster, screen cap, whatever. Obviously the first entry was Heated Rivalry, and I actually just used the same pen. This is my platinum fountain pen. It's actually for drawing, I think, and it has an extra fine nib and platinum carbon ink, so it's permanent. And then if I'm doing like the titles, I'm using a brush pen like this. This is a Pentel brush pen, Pentel Touch. There's also a Tombow one. I use whatever is on hand with me. But I just write like very brief summaries of like what I loved about the show, for example. Like this one, A+ soundtrack, cinematography was so good, adorable boys going through the slowest of slow burns. Apart from writing about shows, I also like writing about music that I've been listening to. You'll also see that there's a date stamp. I use this date stamp. It's a self-inking one. It's a German brand, and it's in the calendar is in German. So I learned how to stamp this the hard way. So the thing is, you have to adjust it while it's pressed down like that, and then that's the exact date that's gonna come out. So I also started to write some coffee shops that I went to, and it depends on the show or the film or the type of media I consume. So for example, for Stranger Things, I wanted to do a little play on the 5 seasons because I watched it in a span of 1 month. So this is season 1, season 2, season 3, and then I had spare PT tapes of cassette tapes, so I found it really like fitting for the whole nostalgia of the 80s. So season 4, season 5, and I love so many things about Stranger Things, so I also put in my favorite songs and some scenes that live in my head rent-free, I guess. So my favorite's actually the dance in the 2nd season. That was so cute. And then Every Breath You Take by The Police was playing. That was so good. I also thought of doing a media recap for January. So not every film that I watch goes in here because some are rewatches. So I just took a screenshot of my letterbox and printed it there. And then sometimes I think about like if there's a common theme. So for example, like if I watch rom-com at a certain time period, or like I didn't read any books, I haven't been in my reading bug lately, so I'm kind of dealing with that. Not shaming myself though, because I have been reading a lot of Substack essays, which reminds me I actually have to write them here. So this one is for just in general, like some films I want to watch for the coming months. I actually already watched Hamnet and Sentimental Value. Yay! And then just to recap the month, I also wrote like songs that were on repeat and the food that I prepared. So this is nothing really fancy, but I just like knowing what I was hyperfixated on per se for that month. This is February, I'm still working on it, so I started watching Bridgerton season 4 and it had very strong Cinderella trope vibes, and it reminded me that I should rewatch my all-time favorite movie, A Cinderella Story. I ended up buying a copy because I actually watch this every year and it was on sale. So I bought on Prime. So I wanted to do a juxtaposition of both scenes because I feel like it was so in sync and I need to update that obviously. And then here, I just stuck in also a photo of my February mail because I'm really proud of it, and I was really hyper-fixated also on like thinking about my Filipino-Chinese heritage and then how I want to incorporate that in my mail. And then I had a spare Adobe sticker with Adobe Illustrator, and I don't use Illustrator, but if I have to do the sticker cutouts for this, I have to use Illustrator, so quite proud of myself. But yeah, I don't know how long I'll fill this up. I don't think it'll fill up the whole 2026, but I think it's just a nice compact solution in general. I think the best part about this is right now we're in my bedroom, my analog desk. It's a new one, it's wood, but I have this Toyo toolbox and it just houses like this one. Sometimes I put my PT tapes or my sticker book. It's very easy to grab because you can see it. I have yet to put a photo. Maybe there should be a rotating, on rotation photo of my celebrity crushes or something. But it's really portable, and if you're thinking of having a place to log your hyperfixations or obsessions, I fully support it, and I think starting with an A7 size is a good way to start. Okay, that's it for this video. As you can tell, I also rearranged my setting so far. I need to workshop this, but I do have a new desk. I'm gonna give a tour of this area soon. I really want to make this space exciting and also like my default journal setup space for filming. But yeah, this is where I do a lot of my analog stuff. I try to, as best as I can, not have any devices here. But anyway, I do hope you enjoyed this video. I think with my journals, I've been pretty good at them. With planning, I'm still kind of on the fence of like, if I like my system, there are things I really need to edit, but let's regroup around mid-year. I like to share a lot of updates around mid-year and kind of see through the months and how my journaling and planning system changes or like stays the same, or like new things I've learned about the topic. But yeah, I'd love to know your thoughts on journaling. If you have any more questions for me, I wanted to do something like a stationary Q&A slash, what's that, like hotline kind of thing, because okay, story time. So I went to the stationery shop a few weeks ago and I needed to buy some paper, so I bought paper. But while waiting at the cashier, there was a guy in the fountain pen corner asking the cashier about ink properties and cleaning of inks. And the questions were very like easy to answer. Like I could have answered them. I think they asked something about like, can I use this cartridge with this specific pen? And then can I just run it through water? And I wasn't convinced with the cashier's reply because they said, yeah, probably. And I was like, okay, but that doesn't give you any assurance for a customer to buy the product. And I was really, I wanted to step in, but it's not my place. I don't, you know, nobody knows me here. And I don't want to be that person to be like, oh yeah, I know it's. So I just shrugged it off, but it's been at the back of my mind for some weeks now. So, you know, these questions, I don't know if there's a definite way to find a solution to them or answer. Probably Reddit has some fountain pen videos, some stationery videos, like things like how to use PET tape. Someone had asked me at the workshop like how to peel it off properly and make it easier to peel off. So if you have questions like that, let me know. I think it would be nice to have like a video where we just talk about the basic things that you actually need to know on how to use certain products. That's it for me. I hope you enjoy, and as usual, please leave a comment if you enjoyed this video. It really helps me a lot to get some insights on what you think of the content I put out, as well as if you'd like to support me in my creative journey, make sure to join my Patreon art club. I do have more exclusive stuff going on there, as well as more digital content that you can't access anywhere else, so make sure to check that out. Last but not least, I like to write a lot about my non-work life over on Substack. It's abc.substack.com. It's called Documented. I do share a lot of journaling adjacent stuff there as well, so make sure to hit subscribe to that, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, everyone. Bye!